Alright, we're back on the Bronco. Don't mind the makeshift GoPro mount. I'll get you guys set back up on it. I don't know where my little squiggly spider stand deal went. I somehow... Don't mind that. Just me fiddling around. Alright, so we're back on the Bronco. Got the cooling fans wired in to some relays right here. Oh, there we go. So I got two 30 amp relays. That cooling fan is from a Taurus. It's not actually going to pull more than probably 20. But this is what we pulled out. The high speed portion of this, the relay or circuit board or whatever is on the inside burnt up. So I actually had to push on the high speed relay for it to actually work. So that's why we're ditching that. The Sniper EFI can run the cooling fans. I have the circuit already laid out over there, and we got that going. Right now I'm about to pull the balancer out of it because this one has dry rotted really bad up here. Let's see if I can get you in there. Right there, it's all dry rotted, and on these Ford engines, they're known to slip, and then it becomes a fight to get your timing right because your timing marks have slipped. And that's pretty much happened to me on every single Ford I've owned. As far as like FE 460 small block, the 5/8, I don't think I have a balancer from any of my engines because I chuck them as soon as I get them. But if you're having trouble setting your base timing, you might want to look at the balancer, and you can verify that by setting number one piston to top dead center. You can use the rope trick. I use a long screwdriver, stick it through a spark plug hole, and slowly rotate it and watch it come up. And as soon as it starts coming down, I back up a little bit, and that'll get you close to TDC, and then you can look and see what your if it's showing you anywhere close to TDC, then your balancer is fine. Like if you're within 1 or 2 degrees, you're fine. If it's not even registering on your balancer, then you've spun it, and I would definitely replace it with I've got a SFI unit that's going in it right here. This is it's a 45/knife. Oh, Summit, I don't care. Alright. So this is what you put on there. Don't mind my hands. So this isn't a fluid dampener, but it's bonded, and it's a smaller dampener material, and it's also much more resistant to spinning and like oil, all that. This is cheaper than the fluid dampener, and that's why we're going with it on this one, trying to keep the cost down. Don't want to be spending $180 on a fluid dampener for a Bronco like this. He's not going to be revving it that high. I'm setting the rev limiter on it to about 65, and this engine doesn't whip that fast to where he's going to slip it again, but those stock ones can't even handle the stock engines. So it's part of the reason why we are doing that. And then I hurt Bob again. It's like a fat chick coming down too fast and missing the hole. It's a bad joke. It's just funny. But yeah, we bent it up pretty good. So, gonna be redoing it with this. I've got a different exhaust. It's sturdier, lighter, better to work with, less chance of doing the same thing over and over and over again. I'm tired of it. anything that slightly touches it snaps it off, and I don't want to weld it all crazy and realize that it rips off the rips a hole in my loader frame. Really don't want to do that, so I'm gonna set you guys up somewhere so you can see this balancer come off and show you how to install it. See where I can put you. Hopefully you guys can sit right there. And I'm gonna go and twist this thing off and get her going. I'll speed this up. It takes me like 15 days to do it because, you know, turning a wrench, not exciting, but small block Ford power is a lot of fun, especially when they run right. Adjust the flywheel so it don't spin. Can't put it in gear because the clutch sucks. I don't want to replace the clutch in it because the clutch works. It just gets oil soaked from sitting, and the bad rear wing seal, which I should have done when I had the pan on, but I didn't. That is my fault. But I didn't feel like doing it then either, so there's that. It ain't like an LS where you can just unbolt the back half of the engine and slap a new seal in it, and it's not difficult, but I don't want to do it. I don't have to. You can see the shiny stuff coming off, or coming out of the engine where it was sitting on the seal. And this is just like a regular old steering wheel puller. It's a little bitty one. I've got slide hammers and other bigger pullers, but I have those at the shop. I didn't think I needed those because I had this one. And these Ford dampeners are made so soft with that rubber that as soon as you get any oil on it, they just start deteriorating, and then it doesn't take long to slip it, and once you slip it, you've pretty much broken any sort of bond it had to the center hub, and it'll be real quick to sling that outer ring off, and you never know what it'll tear up. Try to avoid that at all costs. And when worst comes to worst, you can have worst comes to worst. English is hard. You can damage your crankshaft, your connecting rods, your main bearings, all that, if you have bad harmonic vibrations from a spun balancer that's not doing its job, or an incorrect wire, which is really easy to do on a small block Ford 302 like this. It is super easy to put the wrong flywheel on it, and then you're in a world of hurt. See if I can cheese this one out, because I got this fan in my way too. Doesn't look like it. I know you guys are kind of pointing in a goofy direction. Like I said, I lost my squiggly-doo mount where I could just stick y'all anywhere and tie you down. I looked in the Ranger, looked at my car. I thought it was in my car. I thought it was in the Ranger, but I don't know where it is. It's probably in my room. And I didn't grab it because, you know, bit of a doofus sometimes. Alright. Puller's off. And I got a secret trick. My secret just fell out. Alright. The balancer, as y'all can see, is off. It didn't take that much effort, didn't have to wang on it with a doodler. But you can see it's starting to separate and push out, and this side's even worse. Because this side's the one that gets all the road crap that gets thrown at it. And as you can see, there's the actual balance portion of it, which should be 28 ounce. And then the outside portion of this is where your timing mark and the dampener effect happens. So you definitely don't want to skimp on that, because this outer ring can come off and it just slaps around. The timing covers are cast aluminum, and it'll eat that, and if it doesn't go that way, then it'll come that way and hit shit, and it tears it up. So oh, and then so here's the bolt. 15/16. Here's the washer. You don't want to forget this, because it goes right like that. But if you can see, my washer goes right over the shaft of my puller, and you can send this into the threads and damage the threads that this is supposed to go into. You take a little nut like this with a flange on it, you put it in backwards into the crankshaft, and it rides like that, and then it keeps you from destroying the threads. As you can see, that guy just fits right in there. It blocks off the threads, and you don't have to worry about it. And it's just as simple as having a flange nut like this. I believe this one, let's see, 5/8. So, because this is 9/16 socket, yeah. So 5/8, whatever that equates to in bolts. But we're gonna get this bad boy put in, and you guys can see right there, so I'll leave you alone. There's a keyway on this. Keyway's over here, pointing towards the alternator. So I want the keyway in this dampener pointing towards the alternator. Dropped you. Try not to do that again. Okay, I'll put you that way. It started, but it sucks not having an actual legit mount for this stupid, not stupid, but this small GoPro. I didn't hurt it, but I dropped it for sure. So one-handed install of a balancer is not exactly fun. I think that's good. You don't want to hit these on, because then you'll damage them, and that's not worth it. You can take, if your bolt's long enough, you can take that, put it into the end of the crankshaft. Once you got your balancer started, it should thread in like that, and then you can start slowly bringing it down. A lot of people put anti-seize on these. I never had an issue getting one off, so I don't want to mess with anti-seize getting all over the place. So do what you wish. I just don't do it because it's annoying. There you go. I'm gonna get this buttoned up and see how this engine runs. I gotta set you guys down because I can't do this one-handed. So maybe that's, hopefully you can see. Your hand will not hurt it but a big old hammer will. So don't smash them all. And I'll show you why on the other engine I got over there. Someone who will remain nameless smashed it on there and don't look good. It's not pretty. And this is professional products balancer that I've used at work, so I trust it. It's got a dual pattern, so you can put a 3-bolt pulley or a 4-bolt pulley, depending on what your model is. Because sometimes accessories are a little goofy. And this will stop. It will bottom out. Just want to make sure I got clearance because this is aftermarket. You never know with the aftermarket. I've had enough trouble with aftermarket parts. Try to go with that and how it works. And the torque spec on this, I'm sure is in the hundreds. Actually, I think it's 65 or 85 foot-pounds. I can't remember. But we're gonna go tight, whatever I can muster, because I don't have my good torque wrench here, and I don't want to trust my junk one that I should just throw away. But I hoard things, as most people do. As you can see, it takes a while, but we are almost there, and it will stop because it bottoms out against the camshaft gear, or the timing chain gear for the, there we go, bottomed out. Alright, bottoms out against the lower timing chain gear for the crankshaft sprocket for the timing, I should say. Oh, words are hard. Alright. Handy dandy wrong size socket. Torque bar, aka pipe. And flathead screwdriver into the flywheel. Tighten it down. Like I said, wrong size socket, so don't sit on there very well. But I don't have my 15/16, I got a 1-inch. So, hence the reason no impact on this. I don't want to kill that bolt. Alright. Now that that's good and tight, that plastic spacer you've seen flopping around is what you use as a hub centric for your pulley, because some of the pulleys have dished lips on them, some of them don't. Since this is a dual drilled setup, it has provisions for both 3-bolt and 4-bolt. It's just a matter of getting lined up. So the best way to do this is you got 2 bolts here, 2 bolts here. You got 1 and 1. So the one that's alone is going to be your number 1 bolt that you want to start for your 3 bolt. And then for your 4 bolt, you can use both of these or just this one as well. But it's the furthest away from the other drill holes so that you can get it lined up. And so get this spun around, line up with that top one right there. Oh, come on. Don't fight me. Don't fight me because they're looking, all 6 people who watch my videos, who I appreciate. Because maybe one day I'll have 10 people watching, and then one day later I might have 100 people watching, which would be more people than I know in my life, because I'm one of those guys that just don't make friends. Not that I mean, I just don't go out, obviously. Got my own little family, got my kids, I got projects, so I don't really have any ambition to go outside. I mainly just stay inside and or in the shop. Oh, and another thing that I want to mention with this balancer, I just remembered. These lower 2 bolts where the counterweight is, you gotta shorten them, or else you push that counterweight out and the pulley's gonna wobble and it's gonna just be annoying. So that's the only downside to this setup, is you gotta shorten 2 of the bolts. But I remembered just in time, because I've been through this before. Quarter-inch shorter bolt. And this is the professional products balancer for small block Ford. I'm sure small block Chevy and big block Chevy and big block Ford and all that may have the same issues with the hardware, just because they don't tap the weight on the balancer. They dimple it, but they don't tap it for you to send the stock bolts through, which they should. They should drill it so that you can use factory hardware. Because not everybody's gonna go, oh hey, that bottomed out. Let me go and figure out why. They're just gonna send them down and knock that rear weight loose, which is not a huge deal, but it's not a good thing to do. Let me find another bolt. Alright, so I gotta shorten this one down a 1/4 inch. I'm gonna take care of that, and just all I got left is to throw a belt on it, and that'll be it for the Bronco. So I'll sit you guys down till I come back with it done. Actually, I forgot I had this. That's what you need. It's 3/8 by 3/4. by whatever thread pitch. But no, I'll finish this up since I found a bolt. But yeah, this is a fun rig. Hopefully it runs better. I gotta go and get fuel filters for it. I forgot to get them today. But it's all good. I got the Duramax to drive, so I will take that out and go and get some fuel filters for this thing. That way I can drive it. Right now it's not got enough fuel pressure to do the fuel injection. If I measured the fuel pressure, it's probably like 30 instead of 60. No bueno. And that's how you change out a Ford balancer. Not a difficult thing to do. Yeah, you'll probably get charged a lot of money if you took it to a shop to do it, because they're gonna go, oh yeah, the book says, hey, it takes 17.4 hours to swap out your balancer because we gotta pull the radiator and the cooling fan and whatever else is in the way. Trust me, I know, because I was there. Been there, done that. Charge people for those repairs because that's what the shop charged, and could get it done quicker. But dealerships are greedy. Should be getting a bar on this, but it'll be okay. Got enough tension for an alternator. Watch it squeal. That would be my luck. Start this old pig up and it squeals immediately. Oh, and it's 1/2 inch and this upper bolt to 5/8. And that's it. That's all it took. So, I know this video might be crappy because, you know, I'm terrible at this and I'm awkward as hell. But just trying to have some fun with the YouTube life if I can. But this is next. Once I get fuel filters, it's the classic O'Reilly's Wix fuel filter, and then a much nicer fuel filter. So I will be getting a couple of those, a couple of these guys, and we'll be back to rocking and rolling with this pig. But I'll see you guys later. So you remember what I was saying about, oh yeah, 30 amps. Not gonna be more than that. Yeah, I was a little bit wrong. The high-speed side of this can pull some amperage. So, gotta run to town to grab a 60 amp relay. I've got 8 gauge wire, but I don't have enough to run from here to there and to the fan. So I am probably gonna try and find some 10 gauge, because that should be sufficient for this 8 gauge is what you would use for an alternator, like right here. But yeah, I was wrong. Almost smoked the relay. I go and check it, just kind of feel the wiring and the crimps and everything, and just check for excessive heat. And that relay was warm. So I think it's the distance. If I had the relays over there, it wouldn't be a problem. But since I'm running across and over to here, because I'm already so busy over there with all the power stuff for the rest of the truck, I'm gonna have to figure that one out with the 10 gauge wire and everything. So I just gotta go grab some supplies and I'll get this swapped over. But yeah, she got warm. Didn't let out the magic smoke, but it was getting close. So yeah, this thing's cooled off. It wasn't melted. Like, you don't even see the heat. But when these get warm, that's when you need to figure out what's going on. And it was wiring, because all the way up to the fan it was crispy. So I'm gonna upgrade the ground on it. I'm gonna upgrade the this is for the low speed. The low speed was fine. High speed's the only one I had an issue with. Upgrade the ground, upgrade the high speed wiring up to there, because this is all factory up here. So I'm going to tie into the factory harness with a 10 gauge, but I got to go get the wiring and set up my ground. I'm going to wire it to the breaker, because that fuse block over there, I'll show you. I don't have faith in this handling the amount of current going through it, so gonna bypass this. This will be the low speed and the relay fuses, which is fine. But I'm gonna come up here to this breaker, since this is already 150 amp. If I have an issue over there with a short or anything, trip this, shut down the vehicle. So, and 150 amps is a lot, but it's better than nothing. And I want to put another breaker over there for 60 amp or whatever. It's just gonna 60 amp relay over to the breaker will be good to go. So I'll be back.